Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's episode is once again dedicated to Raven, who you might know better as Dame Adriana. She's one of the latest recruits to arrive in the hamlet, and today she'll be going on her first adventure. Let's just hope it's not her last. Thanks for your support, Raven. I'll at least try to keep your character alive, but I certainly can't make any promises. That said, let's get started. Bunny and the others returned 3 days later, with a rather disoriented fox in tow. They told me of how they had intercepted the bounty hunter in the cove, and that when he had refused to return to the hamlet with them, they had instead joined him in looking for the source of the mysterious singing. There, deep beneath the mansion, they had encountered an aquatic beast, vaguely human in form, but monstrous in intent. The thing had tried to dominate their minds with its unnatural voice, but in the end, Fox had managed to resist just long enough to strike the creature down. Mortally wounded, it had fled back into the ocean, but the party seemed quite certain that it was dead. At least, they hoped it was. It was a fantastical tale, one that I never would have believed before returning to the estate, but given what I had seen over the past few months, I had no reason to doubt their word. I congratulated them on their victory, but insisted that they stay at the sanitarium for a few days to recover, especially Fox. There was no telling what kind of lingering effects that unnatural encounter might have had on his mind. As for me, my own week had been much more mundane. I had simply continued to oversee the day-to-day operations of the hamlet, supervising my ever-growing army of recruits, and catering to their many needs. I had also continued to pursue rumors about the myriad threats that we were facing on a near-daily basis. Fortunately, things had grown quiet as of late, literally in the case of the creature from the cove. My scouts had reported that the winged thing in the weald had vanished, and the strange old witch had thus far seemed content to keep to herself. I decided that it was time to once again investigate reports about the restless dead in the old ruins. Could it be that the necromancer my men had slain had somehow clawed his way back from the afterlife? Or perhaps the one we had slain was merely an apprentice, and now his master had returned to avenge his fallen student. Either way, it was a situation that demanded my attention. I assembled a team of our newer recruits, Alistair Croft, Cavendish, Dame Adriana, and Wojtek the Bear. They would go into those dark crypts and lay waste to the undead creatures that inhabited them, returning once they had sufficiently thinned their number. It was a dangerous mission, but no more so than any of the other expeditions I had organized since arriving at the estate. Still, I reminded them to be cautious. All it would take was one mistake to go from fighting the undead horde to joining it.
The Fiends must be driven back. And what better place to begin than the seat of our noble line?
Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 20. Today we're headed into the ruins for what I hope will be a nice, easy adventure. We just need to kill some monsters, collect some loot, and hopefully earn a few level ups. Now, thanks to our scouting, we can already see that there's at least 4 fights ahead of us. But before we get to that, let's take a quick look at our heroes. Dame Adriana, Wojtek the Bear, Cavendish, Alistair Croft. This is a pretty solid party build, so I'm not anticipating any significant trouble. But this is Darkest Dungeon. Between vampires and mini-bosses, who knows what could end up happening. As always, if things go really bad, then we'll abandon the mission. But for now, let's get moving. Okay, so we've got at least 5 mandatory fights ahead of us. We can probably handle it, but we'll have to take it one fight at a time. Oof. Okay, they're starting us with a pretty challenging fight, but we should be fine. Let's start by focusing on the guys in the back row. Nice. We've already neutralized the Fusilier.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
We'll go ahead and give Croft some blood. We can't have him stressing out the rest of the party. The Cutthroat will drop dead on his next action, so we just need to focus on the Bloodletter.
The slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving. Prodigious size alone does not dissuade the sharpened blade.
Not bad. That fight went smoother than I thought it would, and we got a decent amount of loot. Before we head back out, let's take a look at Adriana's combat skills. Okay. We'll keep Smite and Zealous Accusation equipped, but she should probably equip a healing move as well. Equipping both of them is probably overkill. We'll drop Battle Heal and pick up Stunning Blow instead. I think we're all set. Let's move on to the next fight. Nice. We can always use more blood. Okay, fight number 2. Let's get in there. Alright, we're fighting spiders this time. This should be pretty easy, unless we get really unlucky.
Unnerved, unbalanced.
Really? Well, that was pretty awful. Apparently, spiders really hate Croft.
Another one falls. Another abomination cleansed from our lands.
Croft, come on, man. Well, we could have Cavendish heal Croft, but we're probably better off just killing that spider. You have got to be kidding me.
And now the true test. Hold fast or expire. Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
That was definitely not the easy fight I was expecting. We made it through in one piece, but unfortunately, Croft will be debuffed for the rest of the dungeon. Now, I know we use holy water with the holy fountain, but I don't remember what it does. Well, since it's guaranteed to be something good, we'll have Croft use it. Whoa. Not what I was expecting, but I'm certainly not going to complain.
Wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
Just maggots this time. This should theoretically be an easy fight.
Back to the pit.
Yeah, we've got this.
Executed with impunity. Begone, fiend.
No loot. That's disappointing. Alright, fight number 4. Now this is the kind of fight we're geared for. Let's see here. We'll stun that brawler. Now we'll blight the casters. Nice. That takes care of both of them.
Death waits for the slightest lapse in concentration.
Come on now.
A death by inches. Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles. Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Alright. We took a bit of a beating, but we made it through another fight. The blood's nice, but otherwise that was a pretty disappointing haul. That's a bit more like it. Let's go ahead and drop the damage stone. Okay, moving on.
Mind that such missteps are the exception, and not the rule.
Guess we had to fail a disarm check sooner or later. Really? Alright, well, we're out of food, but we should be fine. There's only 2 more hallways ahead of us. We've also got another random encounter ahead of us, so... Yep, it's vampires. Croft, come on, man. I'm beginning to think he just doesn't like adventuring with women. There it is. We knew we couldn't make it through a dungeon without someone getting infected. Looks like Wojtek drew the short straw this time. I'll admit, this is getting a little frustrating. I would like to heal, but we really need to take out that gatekeeper.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Okay, we should be fine now.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
We really do need to go after the Baron. I'm just holding off until we can get one of our infected occultists up to rank 3 or higher. Poor journal pages. Always left behind. Someday I'd love to collect them all. Oh, that's a shadow orb. We could use that to summon a shambler if we really wanted to. It is really tempting, but I just don't think we're in good enough condition to take it on. We'll focus on finishing our current quest for now, then maybe we'll come back for the orb. You have got to be kidding me. We just ate 2 rooms ago. Okay, well, now we're definitely not going back for the orb. I'm not even sure if we can finish the quest, but I'll certainly try.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
Here we go. Good luck, heroes. Alright, that's not too bad. I think we can handle this.
The ground quakes. Injury and despondence set the stage for heroism or cowardice.
Quiet, narrator. Everything's fine. Croft, no pressure, but I actually need you to heal Wojtek this time. There you go. Now let's finish this.
fresh horrors, brought low and driven into the mud.
Okay, that was a lot closer than I'm used to, but we made it through. Let's load up this treasure and get the heck out of here. Shame about the orb, though. I really do want to fight a shambler at some point. Just, not when it's going to wipe out my entire party.
More bones returned to rest. Devils remanded to their abyss.
Lazy Eye and Clumsy. Two more terrible negative quirks. Guess we'll have to book more rooms at the sanitarium. Our expedition into the ruins had met with an unexpected amount of resistance. Constantly besieged by cultists, vampires, and the undead, they had finally retreated after being stricken by an unnaturally potent hunger. Still, they had managed to kill more than their fair share of unnatural things, so it was clear that their mission had been a success. They also reported that as they had descended deeper into the ruins, they had encountered increasingly powerful resistance. This certainly seemed to imply that the source of the undead was hidden at the bottom of those crypts, but it was far from conclusive. For now at least, the rumors of a new necromancer remained unconfirmed. In the meantime, I had become increasingly concerned that the creature from the cove, the Siren as Fox had now named it, might have survived their encounter. After all, the party had merely chased it back into the ocean. They had not actually witnessed its death in person. I decided to arrange a new expedition to the cove to retrieve the Siren's body, if at all possible. This seemed to pique Henrik's interest, so I let him assemble the team. Given his morbid fascination with the Crimson Curse, it was no surprise to see him populate the party with recruits like Kairon, Varnas, and the King's Rook, all of whom shared that unnatural affliction. Henrik's increasing obsession with the occult had caused considerable concern around the hamlet, but as always, he was quick to reassure me. To fight the abyss, one must first know it. It was a sound argument, at least in theory, and there was no denying that his knowledge of the occult had proven invaluable to our research. I was just worried that if he wasn't more careful, eventually, he was going to attract the wrong sort of attention.
Madness can take many forms, but none so contemptible as man's belief in a mythology of his own making. A worldview buttressed by dogmatic desperation invariably leads to single-minded fanaticism and a need to do terrible things in the name of righteousness. This man is an animal, rabid, destructive, and incapable of nuanced understanding. He must be put down. You are not alone in this place. The fanatic is on the prowl, and he smells your sickness.
This might be a good time for me to mention that I've never fought the fanatic before, so I have no idea what to expect. I guess we'll just have to see how that goes in episode 21. See you then.